Thanks so much.
Thank you very, very much.
All right, I want to now bring in Peter Brookes, a former CIA agent who is now with the Heritage Foundation, and appreciate you being with us. You know, let's talk on a technical level, because you know a bit about this. The Russians talking low visibility nuclear missiles, unlimited range, unpredictable flight path, can defeat all defenses. How does what is claimed jibe with what we know, with known technology? Is this far-fetched? Is it realistic?
Yeah, well, it's certainly plausible. And of course, every modern military is trying to incorporate innovation into what they do. You know, somebody threw a stone first, and somebody developed a shield, and then somebody developed a spear, and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So there's always this effort to innovate to provide an asymmetric advantage. In other words, something that somebody can't defend against. So these are certainly plausible. I mean, I'm outside of government, Michael, so I can't tell you exactly what they know. But it seems plausible. These are things that the Russians could potentially do. They are quite good at weapon systems and weapon systems development. In fact, in some areas, they're practically preeminent, like air defenses. And they are quite capable with missiles. So this is something, and nuclear weapons. So this is something that they certainly could be working on. It's interesting the way they presented it, of course. It was an animation. It wasn't showing real tests. We've heard, all of us have heard the stories that some of these systems have failed, and that's not uncommon for you know, cutting-edge weapon systems. They have to learn to you know, they have to work out the bugs. So yes, this, from a technical standpoint, this is certainly you know, certainly possible, and it gives us some information. It tells us what the Russians may be potentially working on and what we may need to, and NATO may need to guard against.
You know, it was at the end of the Soviet Union. I mean, a lot of people thought, okay, we're going to step away from nuclear weapons. I mean, it doesn't take this many nuclear weapons to destroy the world. What do you think about in terms of the whole new arms race idea? You've got Donald Trump saying we're going to work on new tactical nuclear weapons, ones that create a smaller footprint, if you like, and we're going to renovate the nuclear arsenal. You've got Vladimir Putin doing what he's doing. Do you fear that there is a new nuclear arms race ahead between the superpowers? Yeah,
I see your point. I mean, of course, I would want to make the point, Michael, that the Russians, you know, use their nuclear capability to mask conventional shortcomings. You know, their conventional armed forces. They can't stand up to the United States and NATO. So they always have this very big hammer out there that they say they will use. And in fact, a lot of people don't talk about it, but Russia has an unlimited, well, a large stock, and I don't know if the numbers are well known, of tactical nuclear weapons called battlefield nuclear weapons that weren't included under the New START Treaty, the New Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty from the Obama administration. And this is something I think was you know, a significant problem there. But I don't think we're in an arms race. Like I said, the militaries innovate. The Chinese are also innovating, and they're also modernizing and expanding their strategic weapons, their nuclear weapons capability, the mobility, the reliability, the mobility of these sort of things. So this isn't unusual. I don't think we're on the doorstep of war with Russia, especially nuclear war. And Russia feels that it had to reach out in a State of the Union address and try to intimidate the United States and NATO, unfortunately, when Russia has significant domestic problems and international problems as well. So, but, you know, you did put it at the beginning of your segment. You did put it in context. You know, there are elections coming up in a few weeks in Russia, and I think Vladimir Putin wanted the Russian people to know that he plans to keep the Russian people safe. And unfortunately, we don't have a free press in Russia, so what the diet they're fed of news about the West and about NATO is probably largely inaccurate.
Peter Brookes, great to have your expertise. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
All right. We're going to take a short break.